welcome to Confessions. I'm your hostess of light, Jenny Watson. I'm a personal empowerment coach, new moon astrologer, and past life reader. And my mission is to help people find a safe space to explore their darkness so they can step into their brightest lights. And that's what this show is all about. So tonight we'll be talking about healing and all the different modalities that are out there to help somebody through physical, emotional, mental, and even spiritual challenges. Now, this can range from anywhere from your primary care physicians and registered dietitians to energy workers and metaphysicians. There are so many different kinds of healers out there for us, and the best kind are the kind that have actually done the work themselves and who've taken the time to heal and also know that this is an ongoing process. We are never fully healed, and there's always something to learn and to benefit from to keep going on this path. So to talk about this subject tonight is an amazing panel of guests who are all gifted healers. I'm excited that they've all been guests before on my show and they've come on back, and so I'd like you to join me in welcoming back to my fabulous array of guests here. So first up is Alicia Randolph-Lucchesi. Right! Soul-e-preneur, products and organic skincare line. So first up, hi Alicia, how are you?
Hi, I'm fabulous. How are you?
I'm fabulous as well. Thank you for coming back on. It's been a while. You were one of my first.
A little over a year, yes. Thank you. Thank you for having me again.
Oh, thank you for coming on again. I'm looking forward to chatting with you tonight. And then we also have April Fontana. She's the Oracle Healer, and she's one of my more recent guests, and I'd like to welcome her back to the show. Hi, April.
Hi. Thanks again, Jenny.
You're welcome.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody. And we also have Dr. Matt, who's a metaphysician, medium, and healer. So I'm glad to have him back on tonight. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Hi, everybody.
I'm loving the background.
Good. I'm pretty damn amazing.
You are pretty damn amazing, and that background rocks.
Thank you. Gotta have some color in my life, otherwise I'll die. That's
a little morbid. That's funny. And then last but not least, we have the lovely Maggie Lukowski, who is an intuitive Reiki master teacher and an energy worker. So welcome back as well, Maggie.
Hi, everybody. Good to see you all.
So welcome to Confessions, everybody. I'm excited to have you back on. So my question to you is, are you all ready to bare your soul?
Yeah.
Sure.
I love it. So you're all back. You've all shared your gifts with us before, and I was really honored, and those were really great interviews. People got to really get to know, what it is, what you did, and what led you here. So just briefly, I want to throw it out to you guys just as a refresher that, you've all been led to this this healing. So how has your personal life experience opened this gift of healing up for you for others? So I'm going to throw this out to Alicia first.
Rephrase that for me.
Rephrase it? Okay. How has your personal life experience contributed to how you are as a healer now?
I like to live every day. I guess with nutrition, it's become such a passion. Food is obviously, I'm a foodie, so food is very important to me. How it can heal you on a physical level, on a spiritual level, on a mental level. And I've just tried to take that aspect of my personal life and being the naturalist that I am into, my product line and into workshops that I offer now.
Perfect. Maggie, how about you? How has your personal life experience contributed to your gift of being able to help others?
I guess it started when I was young, and I could see when people were sick or when people were passing. And it was, kind of scary, and no one wants that angel of death coming around. And so when one lady passed, before she passed, she said, "You will find another way to use your gift." And and it did. And I was in school, and one of the nuns, we were at a place, and she was healing people, on-hand healing, and it was something similar to Reiki. And so I knew kind of that's what I could do. That's how I could take that other part of myself and use it to benefit myself and other people. So that's kind of how I kind of worked in and discovered how to translate that.
Very nice. April, how about you?
Mine started as a child also. Feeling everything, not knowing why. brought out such a passion in me. And I knew I could help, but as a younger, I didn't know how. So when I got into the healing, it just became intense for me, because we're talking about wanting to do this since I was a child. So. Mm-hmm.
Dr. Matt, representing for the males of the world out there.
Sometimes, anyway. For me, it kind of really started with just spending the first half of my life, which really wasn't that long, really feeling just kind of, lost and always focusing in my thoughts. Like, I can remember being 7 years old and thinking about, why am I here? What's my life's purpose? Where did I come from? Where am I going next? What am I supposed to be doing here? But I never had any life experience until I started meditating at 15 to kind of teach me that. And that healing journey that I started really led me to recognize how I was very emotionally numb from the world. And so I began the journey of getting in tune with my emotions, of acknowledging them, of accepting them, of loving them. And now that's become like a big part of my work, is helping people to awaken to those emotional kind of attachments and then, that are just energetically there. Seeing the belief systems and yes, that's just kind of my focus now. Mm-hmm.
Very nice. So as you can see, there's a pattern between all of you. It all came from a place of healing yourself. So why do you think it is so important that we all got a handle on our own sense of healing before we can step into this profession, successfully and authentically?
I'll go for it. For me, I really feel like that as a healer, we can't truly authentically share our wisdom or share our message if we're not living it, if we're not being it. And that's kind of what living a healing path looks like. And I also feel like as a healer, what makes us the most powerful is coming from our place of personal experience, because that really enables the people that we're working with to be able to hear us, to be able to understand and to actually acknowledge, okay, this is a real person in front of me who totally understands the trials and the tribulations of life. There's someone who actually understands. So I just think that's really important.
Anybody who wants to answer that?
I would.
Go ahead, April.
I totally agree with Matt. When I'm healing a client, there's only a few things that I haven't dealt, like serious diseases, for instance. If somebody calls me with cancer, obviously I haven't had cancer. But everything else I've dealt with. So they feel comfortable because they can feel that, whether they're an empath or not, they can feel that I can relate to them, and I'm like, I know this is scary, but look what happens when you pull out of it, so I dealt with so many fears. I'm Sicilian, raised in New York. There was a lot of everything was superstitious, everything. So I had to wipe that out, just get rid of a lot of fear. And that's a lot of, what stems with people. It's either they're stressed from fear, or they're afraid and then they get a disease, or whatever. So it all stems from going to the core of the problem, for me.
Absolutely. Alicia, what do you think?
I find that it adds credibility to what you're doing. I mean, if you're living your life in congruence with what you're preaching to people, they believe you. They're going to watch what you're doing, and, it's that old cliche, you listen to what I'm doing, not what I'm saying. So I think it just adds that sympathetic and empathetic relationship and builds trust with people, and that's what's most important when you're a healer, is building that trust with people so that, they really follow what you're saying sometimes.
Well said, well said. Maggie, do you have anything to add to that?
Yes, I agree with all that. And I think when we're coming from our authentic place and from a real clean space where we're centered and clean and our vibration's high, other people can feel that. And it has a sense of calming them. It has a sense of making them feel at ease. Because, you're taking care of your stuff. And unless we take care of ourselves, even as healers, no matter what our job is, we really can't take care of others well.
Absolutely. And there's so many healing modalities out there. There's so many different ways, and it's as an individual as anything else. Like our what our body eats, and some people are vegetarian versus some people need meat. Everything is individualized, and I think it's beautiful that there's so many different sources of healing out there, and that some like traditional medicine and think that works for them, and it's what people find comfort in. But I love knowing that there's these other sources out there. I know for me, coming out of divorce, especially for emotional and mental healing more than physical, I loved knowing that there were all these different things for me to tap into, and it was kind of fun to experiment to see what worked for me. And it is kind of like, your diet, what works for you, or your job, what worked. It's all a matter of that. So I'd love to go through each one of you and explore what you do, so you can share a little bit of what you do with the world, and then people can get some ideas of what kind of things are out there. So, Maggie, you were the last to speak, so I'd love to speak up with you. You do a lot of different things, from numerology to Reiki. So what's one of your favorites that you like to work with?
I like to work with Reiki, and I work with animals. A lot of my clients are animals. So it's their energy. They receive Reiki just like we do, but it's also they tend to receive it quicker. And you don't even have to touch. I do long distance for people and animals, but you don't even have to touch the animal, and you can just see a difference. You can just see a difference whenever you work with them. You can see, and also it helps the person that has the animal. So it's kind of a doubling effect. Both receive.
So how does that work? You have a story. You have a really cool story about a dog that had glaucoma. Can you tell us about that? That was really neat to read.
Yes. I had a client that called me on the weekend, and her dog had glaucoma in both eyes, but one, was pretty much blind, taking drops. They were trying to not get the other one to progress. So it was a Sunday, and she got up, and the dog couldn't walk. It couldn't see out of the good eye. So I came over and worked with the dog for a while. And within a half hour, she started walking around. She could see again. And it may have been the pressure, because with glaucoma, it's a pressure thing. And I always advise people, call your doctor, call the vet. So I said Monday morning, call the vet and just see, check to see. And he said, it may happen again. It may not. It didn't. But so that was just kind of, it was a really beautiful experience. And I noticed with dogs, like people with energy work, Reiki in particular, and other energy work, they drink a lot of water too, because it's really important to hydrate yourself during the treatment and or after. And you'll notice dogs, if they have water nearby, this dog just went to sleep, and then after a half hour woke up and just started walking again. So I think it was the relaxation, and because of the eye pressure with glaucoma, that's how it worked. So that was exciting.
Amazing. Yeah. So I don't think many people might know about Reiki. Not everybody does. I know when I first heard it, I was like, what is this? And, I'm familiar with it now. So if you could explain what that experience is like, how would you explain it to somebody?
Well, it's just, it's the energy. It's a universal energy, universal wisdom, and it's a vibration, and it's nothing that comes through. It's nothing from me. It comes through your channel when you use this energy. And you are attuned. Whenever you take Reiki classes, you're attuned to the different levels of Reiki. But it's just energy. And it comes through you and out to your client. You can do it in person. You can do it long distance. So it doesn't matter. Reiki can go across the universe, time and space. And it'll have relaxing effects. It can help people emotionally heal. It can help people along with, I always think it's a complementary medicine or alternative medicine, with medical, but it can help physical healing. So it can do a lot of different things. And it can help bring up old issues and move those through your body.
And I think one of the more important things as a healer yourself, it's because it's universal energy, you're not absorbing anything that from the person or animal that you're healing. Like, you can just you're a conduit, you're just letting it flow through you. Is that correct?
Yes, you don't get tired. There's no energy, any excess energy. If there's people in the room waiting that maybe come with their friends, they actually get the benefit of the extra energy. But no, you're not tired. It doesn't come through you. You don't have to worry about that.
Wonderful. All right, Dr. Matt, let's take this over to you. Now, you use a number of different unique methods to do your healing, so Be Love healing. Right. So explain what that's like.
So, at the end of the day, the main purpose of any of the expressions of healing that I do is to help people uncover their emotional attachments or traumas, belief systems, and karmic debts. Because I believe that those are the things that are at the root and at the source of our imbalance, disease, sickness, whatever it is that's there in our space. So, you know, I do energy work and psychic readings, past life regressions, inner child therapy, teach classes often, retreats, everything. You know, at the end of the day, anything that I do, the purpose is channeling. You know, just kind of what Maggie was talking about. You know, really allowing the universe to flow through you and not having the energy or the information flowing from you, because that's what leaves you drained. Like, I always feel so much more empowered and energized. Plus the channeling, it's like every time you give someone a healing, you get a healing. And, I mean, why the hell not?
Right. Absolutely. I mean, we're all energy and we're all one, so it makes sense that as we're healing one person, there, you know, it's a give and receipt, the whole thing.
Right. It's like we get to share it.
Absolutely. So, what is a session with you like?
You know, depending on what it is, but it's really all about, I really try to maintain just in my personality and who I am a lot of lightness. You know, really focusing on giving people permission to be who they are, to make mistakes, to fall down sometimes, and then, you know, helping encourage them to just forgive yourself and get back on the horse. You know, I really focus a lot on forgiveness, forgiving ourselves, forgiving others, because I do believe it's the most powerful act of showing love. You know, every time you forgive someone, you're loving them. And if forgiveness needs to be present, you know, then there's, in that moment, maybe love isn't present. And obviously, you know, the name of my healing practice is Be Love Healing. So at the end of the day, you know, that's what all of that is to do, is to help people learn what that means and what that looks like, to just be love in every moment of their existence.
So what kind of breakthroughs do you witness first from some of your clients? What do you see happen as a result of these healings that you do?
Yeah, I think like one of the biggest things is probably watching people just completely get who they are, right? Like get who they are, you know, in the sense of life purpose, get who they are in the sense of what's been holding their life back, get who they are, and really, really understanding the worthiness that exists within themselves. And although they may not be able to feel it or to experience it in that moment, helping them really get that it is truth. You know, whether or not they can see it is absolutely true.
Amazing. I love it. Alicia, now you work in nutrition and you have an organic skincare line, and you're also doing something called Compassion Workshops. So tell us a little bit about, you know, what you started in, where you are now, and where you're going.
Where I started? It started with the food. I mean, like I said at the very beginning, food's always been one of those things since a child. There was a picture when I was like 4 years old and I was cooking and whatever. It's always been there. And it started in, then at one point it got into the skincare. That was a few years ago, probably like 5 years ago. I was having reactions to tattoo aftercare, the normal stuff that they tell you to get after you get a tattoo. So I decided, because I was doing herbal studies at that point in time, I decided to make my own. And then I was also in school for my master's in holistic wellness, and the class happened to be on cancer. And you had to pick like 5 ingredients that cause cancer. Mineral oil happened to be one of them. And then from there, it just started snowballing into all the other chemicals that they put into our products. And then it snowballed back to the food and the chemicals that they put in our food. And so it's like this weird natural progression to me, even though it doesn't really make sense when you look at it on paper. And then right now, yeah, the workshops that I'm doing are on compassion. It's compassion for animals. And those workshops are based on, it's a plant-based diet, and it just kind of tells you the stuff that you don't know and sometimes don't want to know about the food industry. So there's a bunch of workshops on that, and it's a very broad term. It's compassion for the animals. It's compassion for your own body. It's compassion for the planet on a very big scale, and how we're destroying the planet that we live on right now. And it's just become, you know, part of compassion is the word passion. And that's just something that I'm very, very passionate about, is healing this planet that we live on.
So how do you encourage others to make that connection, that how they treat themselves and the planet is, like we were talking before, everybody's one, but like this whole cycle. How do you encourage that? How do you communicate that message?
We give them a lot of ugly facts. It's about a 3-hour workshop where we talk about the whole industry and how the animals are hurt and how that actually hurts your body, and then how it actually is destroying the planet. So we do actually go through a lot of factual information on there. We're not trying to change anybody's, diet. It does happen as a result of those workshops, and that's a wonderful thing, because that's the idea, is to save this world that we live on. So we do it through education of a lot of facts of what's going on.
Excellent. I love it. April, talk to us a little bit about the Oracle method that you created.
Okay.
And demonstrated on me just like
Yes.
a couple months ago.
Yes. Well, the Oracle method is because it's not anything it's not Reiki, and it's not, I had to come up with a name for it, and since I'm called the Oracle Healer, I decided to call it the Oracle method. I learned everything directly by going to source. What it's like is I'll go into somebody's, first I see their aura, I clean out everything that's going on in there. Mm-hmm. Then I clean out all the emotions in the chakras, and I balance them and energize them and pop them open pretty intensely, so they don't just like close up in a week or something like that. I always tell people when they get one full healing with me, they don't need another full healing. They might need a tune-up or something, but it's very intense because most of the time it takes about 2.5 hours, and I prefer distant because, and I work with animals the same way. I prefer distant because the way I do it, the body's in the way, and it's very distracting to me. Like if I'm calling someone in another country on Skype, I'm still just on the phone. I don't, seeing the physical body is a distraction. So basically, after I get the slate clean and the chakras are open and everything, I look in their body, and I look in their organs, I look in their blood, I balance the water in their body. Some people can just be dehydrated all the time. They could just drink and drink and drink, even if they change the water. It could be not balanced, and that's why it's not working right. Same thing with minerals, same thing with vitamins. As I'm doing this, there might be, like say I'm fixing somebody's back, like say somebody was in a car accident, and they say, oh, they're never going to walk again, whatever. I just go into the vertebrae, and I actually will build up the bone. Same with a kidney, same with a liver, whatever. I'm building up the bone. It's like I'm bringing it back to its original state, but not as a baby, of course, because then it would be too small. But I can build up an organ, build up a bone. I'll see the blood. Like sometimes I'll look into somebody and I'll see, their blood's not moving. They don't have any electrolytes going on.
Okay, don't get me squeamish. Okay. Don't get too detailed.
Talk
about blood.
I did it. I'm sorry. Okay. So, I'll skip that. Anyway, so it doesn't matter if it's the vertebrae or the inside or a self-sabotaging thing going on with them, or they can't get over their ex, or they don't feel like they have any self-love. It doesn't matter what it is. The deceased, the past lives, it's just everything all together. Mm-hmm. It transforms their lives from from A to Z. That's what it does.
Absolutely awesome. And I love how there's so much interconnection here, but there's still a lot of uniqueness, which is great because that's needed out there. Because some people like you know, having their whole body read from top to bottom. Others may want to like focus more on the emotional energy, and others want to focus on the physical health, and then yet others just want to be like, just, you know, send me the universal love through me. So I think it's just beautiful that like everything's so represented here. So I want to know that, you know, you're all wonderful and you do these things, but is there something that you love to be personally healed by that you don't practice but you find really amazing for yourself that resonates with you? Anybody got anything? Or you just heal yourself the same way you heal others?
For me, that's what I do.
Yeah, same way.
Mm-hmm.
There's like no little techniques out there that you go, oh, that's really cool, and maybe you know, you're trying to bring it in, or did you already master that, Dr. Matt?
I mean, no. I mean, I guess you could say technique-wise, maybe writing, because I feel like that's a very healing, cathartic thing. You know what I mean? It's not someone's specifically designed technique, but it's still a very healing, therapeutic thing. You know that I prescribe it to my clients a lot, but we don't necessarily do it in session. But I think that that's probably for me one of the most powerful things that helps me bring like self-healing. You know.
Absolutely. I have to say that works for me too. Like, I have problems with meditation because I just can't shut my mind up ever, except when I'm writing, because then it's just like free flow. It's just, it gives me something tangible to like just get it out instead of me going, la la la, oh, I hear a bird, oh, I hear the kids. It's just crazy. I can't.
Can I say something about that really fast?
You totally say something.
Because I know I've been teaching meditation for a long time, and I find that that's one of the most common things that people have that block them from meditating. And and what would help is to recognize that meditation isn't about or quieting the mind isn't about not having thoughts, right? It's about not attaching to the thoughts you're having. So you can still have all those thoughts and be meditating. But it's just observing them and letting them pass by, right? Not attach it to it and then try to make yourself stop having it, or trying to make yourself not have this experience, but simply just letting it be whatever it is.
Yeah, my problem is that it turns into a full conversation, and 5 minutes later the guided meditation's over. I'm like, wait a minute, it ended?
Maybe just like to be in control and do your own meditation. You can't have others guide you.
Whatever it takes to be centered. Does anybody else have something like, I know, you know, I find all these, I like to dabble with different things, and I find it great to have all you people on, because I get to play with you guys, and like, you know, I've done EFT, and I've done somebody who's done the TRE tremor things on me, and, you know, April's done the energy healing, and I've had Reiki done, and it's just, for me, it's fun to learn all of this. Is there anything that you haven't explored that you'd like to look into, maybe? Anyone? Crickets?
Qigong?
Oh, boy.
All right, well, we don't have to go there, so instead we're going to go to question time.
Aromatherapy is something that's been, like, you know, very kind of curious to me, something that I don't do.
Wait, what is that?
Aromatherapy. You know, working with essential oils and things like that, and incorporating that into my practice. I've recently bought some oils, but I don't necessarily use it as aromatherapy specifically. I just use them when I'm over the chakras. You know.
Oh, that's what I just started doing. Yeah, I just started doing that too.
Cedar.
Oh no, the cedar was just to, you know, chill me out. No, but
so that's aromatherapy.
No, but I do have chakra oils, and I just tested them in the store because I'm so sensitive. Or I could do kinesiology on something and say, is this going to work? Okay, I'm going to get it. And
what is that? What is kinesiology? I've heard the term, but I don't know what it is.
Okay, in person, like if you go to a chiropractor, a lot of times they do kinesiology. So they're basically asking your body the answer to something, and you hold out your arm, and they press on it. Okay, well, obviously I'm not in person with anybody, so I'm not pushing on their arms, so I just use both hands, and this one would stay solid, and this one would be the arm. So I could say, okay, Matt, is Matt allergic to wheat? And I would flick, and he's not.
Actually, I am.
You are. Are you allergic to gluten?
Well,
okay.
Let's say this. I have an intolerance to it. Let me say it that way. Like, I don't break out in hives, but it messes up my digestion.
Okay, because I'm getting more gluten, not actually well, I can't eat any of it, so.
Right.
But, you know, you could go, that's what, you know, doing it with both hands. Like if you're like in a health food store and you say, oh, I wonder which protein powder is best for me. It doesn't matter what the label is, doesn't matter what it says. What's going to be best for me, I can just, you know, sit there and test. And as far as the other thing that you were asking, you know, meditation, but I chant, I'm a Buddhist, so that's what gets me, that's what heals me the most. Just like Matt was talking about, only just different.
Chanting.
And for me, dance. You know, they have a chakra dance. So I love to dance. So there's actually a group that has a CD and music, and you can dance and, you know, work through your chakras. So that's a fun thing to do. I think any kind of...
Maggie, I'll go dancing with you anytime. I love to dance. You dance all night long.
We should have a dance party right now.
Yeah, man.
We're having a confession dance party right now. Because it's
I would have to
confession
stand up and
time.
shake my booty.
Yeah,
Can you stand up and shake your booty right now?
I mean, I could, but you
Pretend
might have
this is a talent
you might
show.
have to add a rating to the show if you do.
Oh my God, that's how we should end it. We'll all get up and do it. Because the headphones are going to fly off if I start dancing.
We'll twerk to end the show.
Oh my God, that's funny.
All right, everybody, it is confession time. So I'm going to throw out something for you to just think about. I'd like you to each think about a point in time where you were faced with a challenge or something that you needed to heal, and it was profound for you. And, you know, there's a lot of people out there that can probably relate. So what lesson would you have to share with them about that experience for you? So is there anybody who's experienced something that they're willing to share about a breakthrough or a healing?
I'll share an experience actually that I'm going through currently, because it's just so fresh on my mind. So I've my whole life of just like dating, you know, I've always been very shy and timid around other men and things like that. And so I want to initiate conversations. I resort to online dating a lot. And when I was in Taos, New Mexico a few weeks ago, I was just having a lot of healing and just really getting a lot of things from the universe. And I had an amazing experience one night actually when I was out dancing. That I really got that my block was fear of rejection. And so I was like, okay, I've got something I can work with now. I get really excited when I discover what my blocks are. So last night, this is how fresh this is, I was watching a movie and some, totally in confession transparency, this guy asked another guy about his first sexual experience. So that had me think about mine. And when I thought about it, I remembered anytime there was any kind of interaction, it was always very one-sided. I was constantly being rejected for any intimacy that I tried to engage in or anything like that. You know, and that was literally, I hadn't been able to go to the source yet to see where I developed that. And so obviously, you know, I'm still working with the breakthrough aspect of it, but I think it's really important to get, you know, that there's always a source moment that have created those things that we struggle with. And when we can go back to the source moment, then we can practice forgiveness. You know, like for me, a little tool is every time I'm struggling with fear of rejection, that I'm going to forgive that experience, forgive that person, forgive myself, to help really practice that love to get me back into that space of just, you know, being.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great.
Amazing. All right, anybody else have a share?
I can share. Mine was when my mother passed. It was very quickly, and I guess I never really, and I'm an only child, I thought, yeah, I got over it real quickly. But then I started to work with a friend of hers and work with hospice. And I found through working with hospice, and I also found out using flower, not essential oils, but flower essences.
Flower essences.
That I work with. But I found out using with the flower essences and then working through hospice, that wounding that I had when my mother left, that I didn't, you know, feel like I had a chance to say goodbye, by working with other people and through the Reiki and through that flower essences, I was able to heal that part of my mother and I's, letting go and being able to go through that. And then also I was able to face the death experience, although I could, as a young person, I knew when people were sick, I knew when people were going to pass, but when it came on knocking at my door, it was something very different. And so that really helped me.
Wow. Very nice, beautiful. April, how about you?
Well, the last time we talked on your show, I talked about my mom. So basically, I lost 5 people in 6 months, and I just like didn't know, and they were all shocked. So all of a sudden, I had no parents, no fiance, no sponsor to my Buddhism practice, no best friend, and I didn't know what I was doing, So I just took the passion I had and realized, and I'm a medium too. I don't like talk about it all the time because I'm not going to. I don't want people to come to me for mediumship only. It always comes up in the healing. So even though I would sit there and have half-hour conversations with my mom, I still wanted to feel. I wanted the physical, and I couldn't have it. So I just had to get to that point where, me and her were talking stuff, and she's like, do it, take your passion and go out in the world with it. So that's how I turned it around into that, because that broke me, especially my mom. So.
I remember that story, and it was really inspirational. Thank you so much for sharing that with us again, honey. Alicia, how about for you?
Mine's a little different. It's not something that I knew I was. I guess it's more karmic. I didn't realize that I was in pain. I was at a concert, Paul McCartney concert, about 21 years ago, a little over 21 years ago, and he opened the concert with about a 5-minute clip on factory farming and the horrors of what happens. And at that point in time, I never touched meat again from that moment. And I had wanted to be a vet when I was a kid, and it took actually until your show came up for me to realize that connection. And at that point in time, the passion just became for the animals, and I realized that, okay, I didn't want to spend 8 years in medical school, but I could still help them. So that became through my product line of being cruelty-free and studying products that didn't test on animals, and and then obviously the whole food thing went from there. So it's become compassion/passion again for the animals, and that moment became a crucial turning point in my life, and it ended up healing me and is now healing others. But I didn't realize at that point, like I said at the beginning, I didn't realize that I was hurt and that it would be such a profound healing. But it was.
Wow. I love it. Thank you guys all for sharing that. Now, we're already at the top of our half hour, so I want to go through each of you quickly and just say, what final message do you have about healing for the world out there? So, Maggie, let's start with you.
I guess my message would be is just keep our vibration high. And that's, when we come with a high vibration, a clean vibration, and it's all, it all comes down to love and feeling good enough about ourselves. Because I think that's what we all, or maybe don't feel good enough, but just to feel that you are just so deserving, that the universe loves you, and just have a good vibration.
Perfect. Beautifully said. Dr. Matt?
I would just always say that no matter what's occurring in life, to really focus on being gentle with yourself, forgiving yourself, loving yourself, and at the end of the day, just standing in your authentic expression of who you are and owning that, no matter what that looks like.
Yeah.
Beautiful. April?
I'd like to say that there's a lot of limits in people's minds, like, oh, I've had this for 10 years, so you can't fix that, but so fix this other thing. I just want everyone to know that healing is unlimited. It doesn't matter what it is, it's unlimited. That's my biggest message.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Alicia?
I think, we're all saying generally the same thing. My message is just compassion. Again, you know, I'm beating a dead horse on this, no pun intended. But it's the irony of that one. But it's being compassionate for yourself, being compassionate for your friends, for your family, for people you don't know, for the animals, for the plants, for the planet. You know, it's just compassion. It's such a broad word and something that's so powerful.
Absolutely. And I would like to say out there to everybody that there is no shame in needing healing or for going for healing, because it's just, it helps you to grow. It helps you to step into the person that you are and to fulfill your life purpose and to really, like, combat all the ickiness that you can feel inside that's trapped in there that you've never let out. So it's a beautiful thing. Embrace any healing that you need to do, and don't be afraid to try different things to see what works for you. You know, try different things on and you'll find something that resonates for you. So, and we have an amazing panel here to, you know, start with. So I want to thank you guys all for coming on tonight and playing with me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Namaste.
Nice to meet everyone.
So you can find Maggie over at, I want to get this right, harmonylightreiki.com.
Yes.
Right? And Matt is belovehealings.com.
Yep.
Yeah? And then the oraclehealer.com.
Yes.
And then Alicia is over at pandorasproducts.net. And I am going to be posting all their links below. I invite you to go check them out, explore their website, see all the different sessions that they offer, and just really connect with them. I love each of them dearly, and I'm so glad that you all came on my show. I am Jenny Watson. I'm a personal empowerment coach. You can find me at www.jennifer-watson.me. I'm now offering private confessions one-on-one coaching, so if anything in the show resonated with you and you want more information and you need a little help and guidance, I'm also here to help you as a healer. So you can check me out there. Thank you for watching tonight. I appreciate the love and support. Join me next Sunday as I interview Cara Elizabeth. She is an amazing, inspirational woman who has been through hell and back and is just like living this life full of, you know, vim and vigor, and it's wonderful to see her, and it's a great show not to miss. She's an amazing woman, so I invite you to check that out next week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Again, I was going to say Central. I don't know what's my damage stuff, but maybe I'm meant to be Central, but I think I'm Pacific and maybe Eastern. I don't know, whatever. So catch me when you catch me. And going on, namaste, and embrace your power.
Love you, Jenny.
Thank you.
Love you.